I think, my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film of all time. Hands down, without question, The Last Airbender. Great film. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Bad joke. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. The movie was terrible. Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my first top 3 video. We got a second trailer for M. Night Shyamalan's Split. I watched this trailer, and honestly, I think this might be a pretty decent movie. I can't say if it's going to be great or not, but I will say the trailer has engaged me, both trailers that they released for this movie, and it makes me excited for the fact that we might be on a return to the golden age of M. Night Shyamalan, because I loved his early films, and so that's why I thought I'd do this. With this trailer 2 for Split coming out today, I thought it'd be fun to go back in time and look at my top 3 M. Night Shyamalan movies. Now keep in mind, this is just my personal top 3, and there's just different reasons why these have fallen where they've fallen in my top 3 list. If it's not your top 3, that's even better, because I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are your top 3? I'd love to hear why you place them where you place them. So, by the way, I'm going to talk spoilers in this video, because every M. Night Shyamalan film has a twist, and I'm going to spoil the twist of every M. Night Shyamalan movie I'm going to talk about. Okay, well, you have been warned. Number 3 on my list is The Sixth Sense. I think for a lot of people, this might fall on the number 1 on their list. I mean, it was the first time M. Night Shyamalan put out a movie like this, and it was truly amazing. But here's why I think it falls on my number 3. It is a fantastic movie. It is super well made, incredibly well written. The acting was great. Haley Joel Osment, great actor there. Bruce Willis, of course, he did a great job in this. I mean, so much of this movie was just done so well. But I think it falls number 3 on my list because this movie came out when I was in high school, and I was in study hall, and I heard some guys talking about, hey, yeah, isn't that cool? He was, like, dead the whole time. And then when you go back and you watch it, knowing he was dead the whole time, like, you could just tell he was dead the whole time because, you know, nobody responds to him and everything he touches is red or something. Oh, that made me so mad. But then I was at my uncle's house one Thanksgiving. He had this movie on DVD. My dad and I pop it in, and I'm finding that even though I knew the ending and I knew the twist, I found myself enjoying it. I found myself going, oh my gosh, yep, that's how he's dead, because look what's happening here, look what's happening there. Like, for me, it was this fun little adventure. My dad had no idea. It was really fun kind of watching his reactions to the movie. And then halfway through the movie, my mom stepped into the room and went, oh, is this the movie where he's dead the whole time? I take solace in the fact that there's no way I would have ever gotten through that movie without knowing the ending before it got there. Number 2 is Unbreakable. I saw this one on the big screen. I think this was the first M. Night Shyamalan film that I saw. And of course, I freaking love superheroes, and I think that's the reason this falls higher on my list, because it's a superhero movie. But trying to fit, how would a superhero fit in this life, in this world? And of course, it has that typical M. Night Shyamalan twist and all that stuff, so it's got that typical thing going for it, and so that was really cool. And then you get to the twist at the end of that one where Samuel L. Jackson was the bad guy. Are you kidding me? Samuel L. Jackson, his mentor, who was helping him, who was teaching him to become a hero, was the bad guy? But then, of course, after I see it, I go back to the movie, I'm like, yep, I should have seen that a mile away. Because you got that scene where he's talking to the other guy about villains in comic books, how their heads are slightly bigger than their bodies and things like that, and he always had that big hair. You know, he's always wearing one solid collar, purple, all the time. Like, you know, a lot of villains have a collar, that is their collar, and like, everything he's got is decked out in purple. He wears purple, and he's the exact opposite of the hero. You know, Bruce Willis, who cannot be broken. And then you have Samuel L. Jackson, who, if a breeze blows the wrong way, he might shatter into a pile of dust. He is the exact opposite. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I should have seen it. And then after the twist happened and I go back and watch, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so obvious. But that's one of the things I really liked about Unbreakable. Before I get to my number 1 M. Night Shyamalan film, here are some of my honorable mentions. The Village is an honorable mention because it is one of my favorite M. Night Shyamalan films. I did enjoy it a lot. I think I keep hearing a lot of people that really didn't, but it was a really great picture of what it looks like when you let your life be led by fear. Watching these groups of people just hide from the world in fear. Create this entire old-timey system to live under this system because of fear of the world and fear of pain, and under the name of trying to spare their children from that pain, which, you know, as you see in the movie, they couldn't hide from that pain. They couldn't hide from the reality of the world, even in trying to hide. And so I thought, wow, what an awesome picture of what it looks like to really let fear rule one's life. I need to save this for reading way too much into one day. And then I really did like The Visit. I mean, it's not my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. Definitely not. But The Visit gets an honorable mention from me because it felt like the beginning of the return of the M. Night Shyamalan that I really just loved. I mean, the movie did have its twist, and it's one of those things where it's a little bit predictable, but I feel like you're kind of predicting it because it's M. Night Shyamalan. We've come to expect a twist in there somewhere from him. So maybe that's why and all that stuff, but I don't know. And it's also the movie that makes me more excited to see Split, because I did like Visit. You know, I don't feel like I need to own it. I don't feel like I need to see it again. Does that mean I liked it? Yeah, it means I liked it. I really had a good time watching it on the big screen, and I was really entertained, and I was really happy to see like a good M. Night Shyamalan movie again. So it gives me some hope for Split and what Split can do for us and what Split could do for M. Night Shyamalan. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So those are my honorable mentions. My #1 favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie is, drumroll please, that's not a drumroll sound, Signs. I really did enjoy Signs, and I enjoyed it on so many levels. So first off, I mean, you have the movie called Signs, and I like the different levels just that title worked on. Signs. In the most shallow way, you have all those crop signs, you know, all those crop circles and things created by the aliens and things like that put in the ground. So you have those signs, and so that's the most shallow level. Then you have the other signs of the signs of alien life, that we're not alone out here in this cold universe. I mean, the UFO sightings, the alien that showed up at that birthday party and made everybody watching that scene jump 10 feet out of their skin. It made me jump. It was startling. I mean, you have Mel Gibson, who, his character in this movie, his wife had died, and he blames God for it. So he stepped away from his faith. He was a priest. He was a father. He stepped away from that. He stepped down from everything. And that's another place where Signs works, because throughout this whole thing, you get signs that not only are we not alone in the universe because there's aliens, but we're not alone because there's God. There's somebody watching out for Mel Gibson and his family. Somebody who, through divine providence, made everything work together for good by the end of the movie. And so as I'm watching that, like, a lot of that was just so interesting to me, and it got me on all those levels because, you know, I'm one of those people. I sit there and I watch Unsealed Alien Files. I know. I'm sorry. It's the most ridiculous show ever, but it's a guilty pleasure show for me. I don't know why. It's on Netflix, so I watch it. And so, like, you know, it got me on that level. I love that sci-fi stuff. I love watching that kind of thing. And, you know, when things get really deep about God, I like to watch good movies that tackle issues and questions of faith and things like that. And so from that perspective, I did enjoy that in Signs. All right, so now you've heard from me, and that was my top 3 M. Night Shyamalan movies plus the honorable mentions. What are your top 3 M. Night Shyamalan movies? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you and having a conversation with you about M. Night Shyamalan and his movies. So leave those in the comments. While you're there, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Be on top of all the new videos coming out here on Durbania. Become a Durbanian. Be on top of the new videos coming out. I'm Durbin. Thank you so much for checking out Durbania.